Hi there, this is WFM uyanga.byambaa. I'm about to launch my first chess video. I've been wanting to do this for a long time and finally made it happen. So let's dive right into the game I'm going to show you today. As I'm playing against the National Master, playing as white. E4, E5, knight F3, knight C6, bishop C4, knight F6. The two knights defense. Those who know me, chess players, I know that they know that I play aggressively. So I chose to play the right liver attack, immediately putting pressure on the weakest point of the board. And black has pretty much only one move to respond to that, and takes. And the main move goes to knight A5, and then bishop B5, check, C6, and the line goes on. And I'm not going into this line. However, my opponent played the very aggressive, actually very risky line, which is knight takes on d5. So white has two good options here. One, to play d4, trying to open up the center, defend the knight. Theoretically, really good move. And another, to play knight takes f7, which I chose to play. So that's a fork, immediately forking the king and the rook. So king must accept the sacrifice. And the idea is now to play queen f3 check, also attacking the knight on the other hand. You can block this check or you can move away somewhere except d6, but then I will gain my piece back, and then white is up a pawn, a little behind the development, but white has a perfectly good position to play on. So the most challenging move white faces is to play king e6. Now I can take, because black has two defenders and I don't have enough attackers to win the knight. But when you pin something, you know what to do. Put more pressure and dog a pile on that piece. So here, now it has three attackers on it, so black needs to defend it, otherwise he will just lose the knight. And so far we're still following the main theory, main book of this line. And but the next move, even if you know the book, and you should think is logically. See, I wanted to win the knight on d5, but this knight is defending. So let me just deflect the knight away so that I can win the knight later. But before I do that, notice this, I need to consider all the consequences, because he can actually fork me with the knight takes c2, and which he did. So now, see, before I play a3, I should see that, and I was actually willing to accept the loss for my rook, because see, my rook is not participating anything on my attack and anytime soon. So it is okay for me to lose my rook and to generate a stronger attack, better initiative of the game, better control of the game. So now I have three options. King has to move three ways. Can go to f1, which is not good, making this rook so miserable. King e2, then knight d4 check, I will lose my rook, queen. So king d1 is of course the best, clearing the way from the rook to go into the open file, e file, where the king stands. And also controlling the c2 square later when the knight wants to escape. Okay, so now I can win the knight. I have three options to capture: queen, bishop, and a knight. Pause the video. Which way should we capture? So if you are watching, yes, I want to strongly suggest you to pause the video and try to find the best move before I tell you the move. So if you capture this with the queen, not great, because white is down a lot of material, and when you have an attacking position, do not trade queens. That's a very helpful principle to know. I can capture with the bishop, with the check, looks nice, or I can capture with the knight. So here I chose to capture with the knight. So the idea is now, for several reasons. First, I'm making my knight great. Okay, and actually first I'm carrying a threat for the next move, carrying a very annoying threat. Let's say if I move my knight anywhere, or b6 or c7, that's going to be a discover check, and it's going to be pretty annoying to handle for black. And secondly, I mentioned earlier, I'm making my knight great, which means look at this knight on the center of the board has 8 different squares to go, whereas this knight only 1 and 2. So see, yes, knight worth 3 points, but I would say my knight on d5 is worth more than 3 points. So I think one of the main key thing in chess that amateur players fail to understand is to understand your value of the pieces. Your value or strength of your pieces are not constant. They vary depending on where they are. So look, if I capture with the bishop, then my bishop being on d5 or being on c4 puts the same pressure on the king, right? It doesn't, the strength are the same. But here I'm trying to make my knight for its maximum power. So here my pawn played king to d6, simply getting out of the annoying double check, preventing, anticipating the double check, which was very logical, but it turned out the mistake he made in the game. So computers suggest that to play c6 instead. Just let the discovered check happen, let me win the rook, and material is going to be equal, and black's going to be fine. Probably equal. It's crazy, yeah. But it's a human point of view. Sometimes it's difficult to find the moves like that. Okay, how should white proceed now? See, when black king steps right into the dark square, that's where the dark square bishop get excited, which calls for pawn to d4. Now, if pawn takes pawn, then that's just bad. You're exposing your king even more, and bishop coming out with the check. It's too overwhelming for poor king to handle. So he plays the pawn to c6. And now, this is the most critical position of this game. I want you to pause the video and find the best move for white. So, ChessBase is already showing this move. It's bishop to f4. So, my knight's under attack, but I'm offering another piece to be captured. And this move puts my opponent in a deep, deep thought. It turned out also the best move by the engine, and some of my chess player friends are saying that I made a novelty, but I'm sure someone else played this move. And my opponent here, what did he do? Yes, he ended up playing bishop a6. He did not accept any of my offer. Let's take a look why. So if he would have captured my knight, then it's extremely dangerous. And notice that you can't really go there. Wins the queen, probably checkmate pretty soon. If he goes here, in your calculation, this is the key move you should see. Then if you go here on b8, then you just capture, and that's checkmate. If you go to d7, then check here. I mean, there's not forced check right now, but all of my pieces are attacking. You can bring your rook. Let's not trade queens. Maybe just put it back, and very good advantage for white. So what happens if he would have captured my bishop? Then I would check. If he goes here, if he walks to the e file, then my rook will just come in. But here I'll put my rook in anyway. And notice that he can't capture because that's mate. Yeah, this is again very difficult position to handle, because the next move, queen f5, is checkmate. Okay, because of these reasons, it was too dangerous to accept any of these pieces. So that's why he played bishop e6. So now let's continue the attack. When you are down a material in an attacking position, every single move has to be the best moves. If you find the second best, you might lose the game. You might lose your initiative, and because of lack of material, you might lose the game in the long run. So again, here we capture the pawn with the bishop, not the pawn, because we block our own bishop. So let's do with the capture with the bishop and check. King has only one square. So when you see another signal that your attack going great, how do you know? Is that if your opponent has only one choice, right? Pretty much forced, then it's a sign that, I mean, not like completely 100%, but your attack is going pretty great. So king to d7, that's the only move. Now again, pause the video and find the best and only move for white to win, which is knight to c7. See, now knight and bishop are both attacking e6. So it's pretty much forced to black to take on c4. Black doesn't have to do that, but then I will just win e6. So after this, queen f5 check. When bishop goes back to defend it, I'll just take it. So king now has, again, only one option to step right into the open file, which now you know what to do, because the rook has been waiting for entire game to join the attack, and this is the right time. So bringing the last piece, creating the last punch for the attack. And this position is already lost for black. There's nothing he can do to prevent any kind of miserable checkmate, because when bishop moves, it's pretty much checkmate. So my opponent played his last desperate move to try to trade the queens, but and then he resigned, because due to this, actually there's checkmate in 2. You should go ahead and find it. Okay, if he blocks with the bishop, that's checkmate in 4, but then I'll just take it. That doesn't help for black, and that's a checkmate. So thanks to the knight to protecting the rook, thanks to the bishop to protecting the knight. And so I would like you to learn from this game. The key is to understanding your value of your pieces, to understanding to make them great. How do you make them great? How do you use their maximum power? And when you have an attacking position, it is very important to bring in all your forces into the game, not just attacking one piece or 2 pieces or 3 pieces. Even the whole army should participate, and that's a stronger attack. Alright, thanks for watching, and if you want to see one of my other crazy games, let me know. Also, share, like, comment on this video. I would happy to read it.